show, man. It's heating up. It's heating up. R. Kelly's appeal is almost 6 days away. And they were like, well, lawyer, where have you been? Well, I can't answer that right now, but I'm here right now. What's up? What's up? The Lawyer Henderson podcast show is live. R. Kelly's just days away from his appeal. You're listening to the Lawyer Henderson podcast show. Oh, man. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Lawyer Henderson is live. Like, share, and subscribe. I love it. I love the introduction music. It is very, 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 very. It's calm. Music is calm, isn't it? It's just very calm. Okay, it's calm. I like the man. It's man. See, if I was making an instrumental or something, man, I'd be really, really, really in the business of music, But ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. I'm here. We're live. Now, before we get started, we have a lot to talk about today, actually. Let's see what we have to talk about. Kim Fox working, they found out that Kim Fox was actually working with Sony Music to bring down R. Kelly. Then we have on the list Ice Cube's problem with Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers do not want to release, or will let him release another Friday. And so we'll talk about that. And then the controversy over the Little Mermaid movie, man. What's up with that, man? They cast a black female actress, and, man, white folks is upset about it. And but still, yeah, it's doing good at the box office there. Last time I checked, $117 million at the box office. So it's doing good there. And then we're also going to be talking about what we're going to be talking about when I come on live again. We're trying to fix our channel so that we can have a steady time. So bear with me on that, okay? But anyway, thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. You've been listening to you're listening to the Lawyers and Podcast show. And they were like, wait, where the hell have you been? No, I've been here. I've been doing my thing. I've been out there working on film projects, writing books and stuff. So I've been doing my thing here. But I want to get into talking about R. Kelly's appeal. Now, this is not about R. Kelly. It's about the fact that when it comes to trying to cover up what white man does in Hollywood, they always have to find a black man so that the news media can talk about something else instead of talking about white men who have been accused of rape and other type of sexual assault. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. So white men be getting away with a lot of stuff in Hollywood. And so what happens is that they need a black boogeyman so that the white media can talk about them. So it takes the coverage over like people like CBS former CEO Les Moonves, Kevin Spacey, all of your white males who have been accused of rape and sexual assault, sexual harassment. this whole Fox News sexual harassment that began with Roger Ailes and all of that stuff. And the thing about that, I was just looking at the movie Bombshell, which covers it covers the story about that news anchor. I forget her name, Gretchen. I think it's Gretchen Carlson, whatever her name is. But anyway, a lot of these, excuse me, hold on. Excuse me. All right, so a lot of these white males who is in Hollywood sexually assaulting their women that works for them in these news organizations, not just news organizations, it's Hollywood too. And they also said that Kevin Spacey, he's been accused of molesting boys. And so basically, we've been hearing a lot of white males, it's not just Harvey Weinstein, but we've been hearing a growing number of white males been accused of sexual assaults, harassment, and everything else, but the white media will try to cover that up. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. But Kim Fox basically is, as you've been listening, Kim Fox says she's stepping down as the state's attorney general for Illinois. Of course, no news there. She was, working with those folks anyway, trying to impress, white folks. That's what they always do, these black politicians, when they get into office. But this is bigger, though, than R. Kelly and bigger than what Kim Fox tried to do to him. And Michael Avennati, who tried to extort Nike out of money, all of these people who were trying to take down R. Kelly and trying to make sure that he does not get any kind of success to go after Sony, because Sony was still in his money. Now, for the very first time, as he told the story, I went to the bank. I found out I got only about $300,000-$400,000 in the bank. So Sony has not been paying him his money. So Sony thought that, wait a minute, we just go ahead and have these old accusations and have these women like Ariel Clary and all these people. We'll have them to basically lie and say, oh, you were basically, sexually assaulting her at 17 and all of this stuff. Age of consent is 17 in Illinois. Let's be very clear about that, okay? You don't change the man, you change the laws. And white males made these laws. Age of consent in some of these states is 16, 17 years old. White males made those laws. But anyway, here's the thing. The only person who stuck by him, right for what I can see, is Jocelyn Savage. Now, Tim Savage been all over the news, well, not news, but these local podcasts, and he's been running his mouth about Ariel Clary, Clary, or whatever you call his name, or Angelo Clary, or whoever. And now they're going back and forth. And now Tim Savage is talking about, oh, yeah, R. Kelly do deserve, a new shot, a new trial and stuff. Listen, this man also manipulated R. Kelly. And Tim Savage need to come out and tell the truth, okay? You were doing the same thing that Angelo Clary was doing and Alice Clary was doing. And that is all y'all was exploiting your children, your female daughters, I should say your daughters. And it got to a point that R. Kelly just stopped sending y'all money. Let's be very clear about this. R. Kelly stopped money. Y'all were mad. And so y'all start lying, talking about your daughters were being held against their will and all that bull crap. Okay? And so even Jocelyn said it, on TMZ. She said, hey, Dad, what the arrangement was, talking to her father live about the arrangement. Okay? The arrangement is that Jocelyn was supposed to stay with R. Kelly, and Tim Savage and his wife was supposed to get money for it. Same with Israel Clary. Same thing. Y'all keep my daughter. She's 17. And then I heard that R. Kelly sent her back because she was 17. But Alice, the mother, was texting him like she was the daughter, saying, oh, no, 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 no. And so he actually sent her back. The news was he actually sent her back because she was 17 years old. And then when they were in California, because see, and the thing about it is that when he found out that she was not 18, he sent her back. And then Israel tried to go back and find him, and then went into the hotel or whatever they were, the house or whatever, and start stealing his stuff. You see? So these women have been just janky from for the beginning, and the only person who stuck by him so far is Jocelyn. Okay, and I give her credit for that. I don't give her parents credit for it. Tim Savage and I forget her how you pronounce her name. The wife of Tim Savage, Jocelyn, whatever. But the thing about this is that y'all are lying on R. Kelly. Okay, this man did not commit no Rico act. This man did not commit any of those acts of what the government is saying that he basically did. And y'all know that the truth is coming out now, and that if this appeal process don't work, it shows you about the American legal system. Okay, R. Kelly did not do these things that they were basically saying, and I've been telling y'all ever since I was on Facebook when all these lies first started coming out. I said, man, something is not right here. And then I told y'all about Asante McGee. I told y'all about Geronda Pace and how they were lying. Kitty Jones. I told you about all these folks that was lying on Kales. Okay, I told you nothing of what they were saying was true, and I also told you, of course, that there was no legal bound ramifications for you being into a relationship and then your boyfriend or your husband or somebody decide to basically break up with a woman, that is grounds for any legal charges. And so what the government has been doing, along with Kim Fox and Sony and all these other people, they've been standing in the way so that R. Kelly cannot get his money from Sony. And this is what Sony is trying to do. They did the same thing to Michael Jackson. And so now as he waits for his appeal, which had been delayed for months and months, the truth is going to come out that these parents sold their daughters to R. Kelly. And then when R. Kelly said, well, I'm going to stop paying your parents and I'm only going to deal with y'all, the girlfriends, then that's when they start getting upset because the parents were not getting paid. And I think that Azriel told the truth when she was on the interview with her and Jocelyn with Gayle King the first time. She told the truth. She said, listen, my parents said if R. Kelly don't send them $20,000 to this bank account, I'm going to plaster all your pictures and all that stuff. If he don't send $20,000, that's called extortion. That's called extortion and blackmail. And they can be arrested for that. But instead of the government going after them for extortion, they went after R. Kelly and decided that they were going to charge him and with the same type of accusations that was in the 2008 trial, and that is double jeopardy. We talked about that. We also talked about the fact that Kells was basically not molesting any of these women. He did not only was he sexually assaulting them, he did not do nothing that is legally bound for the government to get involved with somebody's sexual relationship. It's not none of the government's business how a person has sex. It is only when that person started to claim that there was a rape situation or the child was age. And the age of consent in Illinois, like I just said earlier, is 17, age of 17. So he did not break the law. Now, you want to change the law, that's fine. Okay, change the law. Now, here's the thing. The media, the white media start coming out here blasting running their little 2 cent mouth, and nobody listened to the white media anymore. Nobody listened to CNN, ABC, and all these other people because they're propagandists, they're liars. The white media, and especially Gayle King and others, they have a history of this. They have a history of basically trying to bring the black man down, and all these other white males who have been sexually assaulting um, you know, women, and these white males don't get plastered all in the news media. And where's KSR1, Tyrannosaurus Burke? Where's she at when all these white males have been sexually assaulting women? You see? And this is what they have to do in order to basically create in their own mind a quote unquote black boogeyman. White folks need a quote unquote white boogeyman. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Hit that like button, hit that thumbs button. And then they had a fraudster like Michael Avennati, who has been extorting or who has extorted money from one of his clients, this porn star named Stormy Daniels. Tried to extort Nike. You see, that's why you can't trust a white man, because he's behind closed doors doing the same thing, actually with evidence that he accused a black man of doing. There's actually proof that he does it. Okay? It's real proof that he does it. And the white media will try to basically pretend like there's no evidence of it. They don't, like I said, they don't plaster white men's face all over the news like this. And Harvey Weinstein was the only one that they brought down. Okay, but there's a lot of white men. If we were really talking about going after sexual assault, if the laws really worked in this country, you would have a lot of white males in jail and prison. Okay, because they have a history of that. White males have been basically sexually accused of sexual assaulting, murders and killings and violence of men and women and rape. They have been the ones who's been doing all of the crimes. Okay? But yet they try to say, oh, these niggers, they are so violent out here, and blah, 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 blah. But I didn't want to let you know that, okay? Join us on the Lawyer Henderson podcast show, of course, where we're going to still be talking about these illegal immigrants that's coming up on the Lawyer Henderson podcast show. You know, Jim Crow Joe, he flooded the gates open and stuff. And these illegal immigrants that come over here demanding money. We're going to talk about what Chicago blacks are doing when it comes to trying to stop the illegal immigrants, because they're breaking them and put them into these black communities, by the way. Okay, so that's coming up on the Lawyer Henderson podcast show. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. But R. Kelly is basically now is at his appeal now, and we will see what happens. Okay, let's move on. I want to talk about a little bit about Ice Cube, the problem with Warner Brothers over the movie Friday. Everybody thinking that there was going to be another sequel, or to the film called Last Friday. I think that's the name of it. But Ice Cube had been doing many interviews stating that Warner Brothers don't want to allow him to do the film because they were like, well, this script doesn't, it doesn't really, it's not funny, because nobody thinks going to jail funny or doing anything in jail is funny. So, and of course, a lot of the original cast members have died. They had passed on. I mean, you're talking about Tiny Lester, who had passed. You're also talking about A.J. Johnson, who had passed. Of course, the John Witherspoon had passed. Man, you're talking about most of the funny people that was in Friday. The only one really who's still alive is DC Young Fly, whatever you have you say his name, and then you have Chris Tucker. And man, Chris Tucker, he's giving this um, illusion that he will do it, but then again, he is really saying that he wants to move on. He don't want to play in comedy films, no more, black comedy films like that no more. It's almost seems like that's what he's saying when you look at his, listen to his interviews and stuff. But man, Ice Cube is having it, man, because after um, New Line Cinema closed down, then Warner Brothers, brought out New Line, and so that the movie Fridays that was produced by New Lines fell under the new owners, which is Warner Brothers. So that's the reason why he's having problems. Um, yeah, man, he's been all over the place. Upset about that, man. So, yeah, man. But keep it here on the Lawyers and Podcast show because, like I said, we'll be talking about these illegal immigrants, man. They're out of control, man. These folks are everywhere, man. I mean, when Jim Crow Joe Biden, when he basically flood open the gates, man, these people, man, are coming over here thinking that they're entitled to everything. We'll talk about it on the Lawyer Henderson podcast show coming up. Still to come here, the Mermaid movie is causing a lot of controversy because for the first time, they had basically director Rob Marshall, who is the director of The Little Mermaid, cast a black female. I think this was Halle Berry's little sister, if I'm not mistaken. But that basically had gotten a lot of white folks upset. And so, man, they basically said they're upset. But see, we already know what it's about. It's about that, yes, white folks wanted her to be a white person, of course, how they are. They want to see themselves all the time. They have to basically remind themselves that they're in control of something and they give the perfect performance. And we don't want to see no niggers on the big screen. And that's the problem that they're having. And so that's what the problem that they're having. And we know that. We've been dealing with white folks ever since slavery, ever since they've been around. Okay, so we already know what their attitudes is. But when we come back from our music break, we're going to still go into depth as to what's going on with the Mermaid movie. And we're going to also talk about something else that relates to another controversy with Sylvester Stallone when they did Creed 3. We'll come back and we'll talk about it and discuss it. We'll be right back from our music break. Okay? What the Second Circuit Court is going to do in R. Kelly's appeal. I think that's the Second Circuit Court of Appeals there in Illinois. Still waiting to see what they're going to do to see if he basically could get out of prison or out of jail. They had to move him because he was having all kind of blood clots and the other prison that he was in. At some point, they was trying to, of course, they wanted him to die in prison with the sentence that they gave him, the 30 years that Ann Donnelly gave him in New York, and then followed by the other, uh, uh, judgment, which is also wrong in a sense too, because the Mann Act was not basically didn't happen here. The Mann Act is and the Rico Acts and all of that stuff don't apply to just one person, because R. Kelly is not an entity, and he's not a person that you can prove that racketeered anything. And so these white folks and black people who try to basically impress them, that kind of way is moving in a different direction. Okay. And so shortly, you'll see a lot of changes start coming, in the next 20 years. But R. Kelly, basically, according to the sources, his attorney, Jennifer Bonjean, is really doing a good job on the appeal process. I mean, that woman is she's GOAT now. She's doing her job now. That is what and so what would Sony do? They were successful in killing Michael Jackson. If R. Kelly get these charges dropped, what else would Sony do? Because you have to watch the music and the film industry when it comes to these folks. These folks are going to kill you. Excuse me, guys. These folks will kill you in order to protect their money, in order to take their business interests. And that's what the music industry has been known for. It's been known for violence and murders and killing. And so we have to look at that, you see. We just can't, we have these rappers and stuff. None of these people know their history, so that's why they get caught up. They don't have protection. They don't have, bodyguards is okay, but you don't have anything protecting you. You don't watch your back. You don't know who's putting what in your food. And this is all of the things that these white supremacists will do in order to protect their business interests. So you got to watch out, because when they put money over people, it's very dangerous. You've been listening to the Lawyerson Podcast Show. We're going to have the phone lines come back here. I mean, people have been asking, man, I want to call in because I need to debate you on this. How dare you talk about these good white folks out here? Yeah, we're going to have that come in here. But finally, let's go back to this Little Mermaid situation. So after, they've been working on the movie since 2016, okay? And I'm in the film business too. I try to tell my actors, you talk about it take a long time to make a movie, look at, there are certain movies that taken a long time, like The Little Mermaid. They've been working on this since 2016, okay? What is it now, 2023, okay? And you want to talk about, a film taking too long, come on, get out of here. But anyway, Ariel is played now by Holly Bailey. Now, director Rob Marshall basically was criticized. Disney was criticized. And some people said, well, why it was played by a drag queen and all this old stupid stuff. But after Chloe Grace Moretz quit The Little Mermaid at the age of 21, she had other projects. She's been quitting other projects, she said. She just didn't quit The Little Mermaid. She had other things going on. Okay, so when you start getting work in Hollywood, you gotta sometimes quit a lot of these other films that, just come and you say, nah, I don't want to deal with that. When you start getting a lot of roles, that happens, you see. But Ariel, of course, used to be played by a white girl. And The Little Mermaid story, the one that we saw about or heard about came out in 1989, you see. And what this Black actress said on stage, I thought was very, very profound. She says, as a Black woman, I wanted to see Black girls see her on the big screen and see her on this big screen that inspires them, and that was one of the reasons why I think that it had grows right now $117 million at the box office right now. Of course, it only made half of its its profits back, because the budget they said was 250 million. So it made half of its money back, but it's still in theaters. It's still out there, and it's still going, it's still drowning into other people, televisions. And then what about ancillary rights? You still have DVD releases. Man, my nose be itching every time I come online. You still have, digital platforms that it has to be released on. You still have colleges and universities and little, what's these elementary schools that's going to watch The Little Mermaid. So it's going to make its money back. It's already made $117 million. See, white folks don't just keep on with this lie that suggesting that we black folks, we just can't, we just don't, we can't make a box office, hit at the theaters. They use that lie all the time. They always say, well, a all black cast, that's not going to make no money. They use that lie all the time. They do. They always have to use that lie so that they could basically control the media, the audience, and all these people of what we watch. And other people are getting sick and tired of that. They want to tell their story too, but don't have the relationship with the theaters, you see. Okay. Now, I was going to tell you, and I promised you about talking about Creed, I want to say 2 or 3. Sylvester Stallone was upset, so he did not participate. I want to say it's Creed 3. He did not participate in Creed 3. It was Creed 2 or 3. I think it's Creed 3, the latest film that came out. Michael B. Jordan. And he tried to make it about him. He did an interview not too long ago, and they asked him, well, why did you not want to be a part of Creed, the Creed movie? And he basically said, well, they tried to make it up as a love romance. See, in other words, he doesn't want the boxer to have, or on the big screen to show this champion boxer in love, in a black relationship, in a way, in a sense of having his love life at the same time he's a boxer. You see, this is what the white supremacists, they don't like that. He wanted it to be all about him. You see what I'm saying? And then when he found out that the movie was successful in the box office, of course, he still basically said, well, I'm going to come back in the next Creed. Well, why you didn't go and be a part of that Creed too? You see what I'm saying? Because had you basically been in that Creed, you would have been, it would have prepared for another, part of the Creed, like Creed 4 or 5, whatever. But he basically got upset because he wanted it to be about Rocky. Okay. He wanted it to be about him. And the directors and producers and the writers didn't want it to be at the Creed 3 about that. They wanted it to be more of a relationship where the boxer, like I said, is winning his matches, but he's also in a relationship. He's in a strong relationship. He's family oriented, and it shows a black relationship on the big screen. See, he didn't want that. What he wanted to do, what the film to be all about Rocky, and this white man is preparing this black boy to win these boxing matches. And so they said, man, you're going to have to go. You can wait. We'll try to cash you for the next film. But this is what this one right here is going to be about. This specific Creed here is going to be relationship based. No, I don't want it to be relationship based. I want it to be about Rocky. No. Okay. And so now he regret in being into the film that he said that he'll come back on the next one. See, and this is what these white folks do. They do not like it when we talk about ourselves. And so it also takes away from the ideal that, black people just cannot make box office hits. This is a lie. And these white folks know it. They know it's a lie. They know that we can sell out at the box office real good because black folks love watching films, you see. But I promised I was going to talk about that because that was very, very, very important. So with this Little Mermaid film now, and now you have a black cast member, actress. I think this is Halle Berry's little sister, I think. The fact of the matter is that, you have a lot of white people upset because here's the thing, when Chloe Moretz pulled out, I don't know if she's white or Hispanic. I didn't look her up, but like I said, you got to cast somebody. The film was setting there since 2016. You see what I'm saying? That's a long time to be waiting for production. And then they thought that they were going to do something in 2019. You see what I'm saying? And you see how my actors criticized me when I took too long for a film. You be like, what? We started it. You see what I'm saying? Like, wait now. It doesn't matter the budget, okay? It doesn't matter the budget necessarily. Sometimes a movie could take up to 14 years. There's a film out there I can name you right now that had taken 14 years to make. So it's not about the money. It's not about the budget. It's not about, it's that who are you going to be able to do and how you're going to do it to make this film and make it, successful and to start it at least. So since 2016, this film has been sitting on a shelf at Disney, right? They brought in director Rob Marshall. They decided when the other actress left and said, I don't want to participate, they decided that, okay, the Little Mermaid is going to be a black female, okay? And these white folks got upset about it. How dare you cast a nigger to play the Little Mermaid? What are you doing here? It caused all kinds of controversy. But just to have the little black girls look at their selves on a big screen, that is dangerous to the white supremacists. These Karens was out there upset too. Oh my God, these niggers are taking over. They got these niggers. How did that nigger afford that car? And how did that nigger get on the big screen? We got to take our country back, you see. They basically do not want black people to succeed in anything. Just relax, white folks. Man, it's not the end of the world when you just cast a black person to take other roles. Now, we do get upset too because these black immigrants are doing roles that we think that black people here, what we call black Native Americans, and our foundational blacks or ADOS or whatever you want to say, we get upset too because we don't want these immigrants portraying our loved ones in film. I mean, not loved ones, but our heroes and sheroes in movies. Like when we basically have folks that is dear to us and that is our historian, a person that we felt like in the black community or in Black America, that is our heroes and sheroes. We want a black American actor to portray them. So we get upset. We have a legitimate reason because when Hollywood start doing it, it gets upset because they pick the wrong folks. And then when they do cast this person, they basically try to change and switch up certain things. Like when I did the commentary on Harriet Tubman and how they brought in these black women and these black producers to change the whole story around. And so basically, they had Harriet Tubman, and as she wasn't fighting slavery, that there was some black monster she was fighting against, and things of that nature. See, we get upset when Hollywood do those things because we already know that the white man is in the business of changing and rewriting history. Okay, that's what he's in the business of doing because this country cannot stand. They cannot stand truth. Truth has no moral stand in America. And that's the reason why they want to talk about critical race theory and they want to talk about all this other stuff. And they want to limit history books in the classrooms. White folks don't only want black children to learn history and culture, they don't even want their own children to learn it. Okay? If these white supremacists know that they can continue to what they call empower themselves or get some kick or not take a L, they would rather for their kids to hear lies than to have black folks basically equal to them, you see. And so something like this, something as small as a black female playing the lead character of The Little Mermaid, these white supremacists are peeing in their pants. How dare you cast this nigger and this look like a drag queen and she's emotionless. What are you doing? We gotta take our country back. You see, that's what they're about. Okay. Now I'm glad that this Little Mermaid is a black actress. The reason why I'm glad about that is because, see, by that happening, it does inspire the young black girls to see themselves differently. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, she had braids in her hair, which basically, boy, that really upset white folk. The Little Mermaid didn't look like this. What are y'all doing? I gotta walk out this theater. I'm done. I don't want my children watching this, you see. But you have no problem putting this LGBT content and crap in power. You have no problem with that. You have no problem with always inundating us and hitting us with LGBT content and gay content in black films. And we don't want that. Most of us don't want that in our films. All due respect to the LGBT and the gay black community. We just don't want that. And we just don't want that in our films. We just don't. And so as soon as we get Jim Crow Joe Biden out of office, hopefully he goes in our next election. We don't know because this political stuff is so rigged now that now, as you know, that the politicians and the presidents are financed by these white supremacists who got billions of dollars now, like George Soros and all these people. You don't even know who's going to win out of Trump and Biden now in 2024. It could be Hal DeSantis race his ass down in Florida. We don't know because the politics is getting very crazy. And we're going to be talking about these illegal immigrants when we come back, man. People are like, man, you need a schedule, man. And you need to bring your phone system back because we want to call in again. We want to talk about these good white folks. I said, okay, man, give me more time. We're almost done with my movie. Then we'll bring this phone system and all that stuff back. And then we'll have a set schedule. And I'll be able to do a lot of stuff. We'll be able to bring you on. We'll be able to, have dialogue and discussion. We'll be able to do that all again, like we used to do. You see what I'm saying? Calling in like you used to do. Calling in like you used to do. But you've been listening, of course, to the Lawyer Henderson podcast show. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. But yeah, man, these white folks are going crazy out here, man. And they have been so busy wanting these illegal immigrants over here, like I was going to say about, talk about this next time I come on. Man, they got it where these illegal immigrants are getting all kinds of benefits, man. These illegal immigrants are getting too much money and benefits that they're hotels and all that stuff. These illegal immigrants over here demand they get paid $35 an hour. You see what I'm saying? And white folks thought that they were just going to bring them over here. They work under the table. And one guy admitted, he was like, yeah, they told us, he was the legal immigrant. He was like, yeah, they told us that they said that the borders was wide open for us. And so that's how everybody got word, that they can cross over. They said that Jim Crow Joe just left the borders wide open because white folks, their numbers are dwindling. See, the white folks by the year 2050 something, white folks would be at a minority. It would be more minorities, so-called, than there are white folks, in America. And then, of course, by 2019, America would have less than 40, white people will be less than 41 million in America. That's what, 12, 13%. That's where they claim we are now. White people by 2090 will be only 41 million in America by 2090. And so they have to flood the gates with illegal immigrants because they know that the illegal immigrants have a history of anti-Black hatred against us. And so they need them over here to try to supplant us. This is our third phase of Reconstruction. We'll talk about the other two phases next time that we talk on the Lawyers and Podcast show. But I wanted to come on and tell you to prepare for this R. Kelly appeal. This is going to be very, very important for the Black man. You see, these people is trying to say that just because you break up with a woman, that they're entitled to all of your money and they're not doing anything to prove it. This is why, men do not want to marry anymore in this society. And of course, we basically brought down the bridal industry because men are not getting married anymore. They're leaving America. They're traveling more now. It's becoming different. In about a year 2055, you're not even going to recognize America. You're going to be like high and by. You're going to be doing things, and you're going to be like, "Damn, are you in Los Angeles? Yeah, we're in Los Angeles. Are you in California? Los Angeles, California? Yeah. You in Las Vegas? Is this Las Vegas? It's going to be very different. Are you in Georgia? Yeah, right. What? Are you Alabama? All of it's going to be very, very different. And white folks is trying to multiculturalize us out of existence, and they're going to fail because they're pushing back now. Black people are pushing back real hard against these immigrants, especially in Chicago. But we'll talk about it next. I'll talk to you later.